A couple of poems that I wrote about my body and my relationship with my body. So I'll just start. As women, we dissect our bodies with words and thoughts and blades. We slice ourselves into a million pieces, every one a problem. Our magazines carve us up like pears and apples to peel and pare and make perfectly edible. I am not edible. I am not an easily digested bite, a pear which hasn't ripened, an apple whose blemishes must be cut away. I don't want to carve this body up, to dissect her flaws in mirrors, in windows, in the path of my own fingertips on her topography. I want to love her wholly, to not slice her into pieces of problems. When I let my thoughts and eyes cut me up into wobbling thighs and crooked toes and scarred knees, wrapped parcels of lopsided breasts and stomach fat, I don't see myself. I don't see a heart which has loved or legs that climbed mountains. I don't see my university degree or the people who love me, or a body which, as a joyful, gasping whole, not fractured flaws, has fucked and come and laughed. My body matters because I live here all the time. My body has given me everything, shown me the world, taught me pleasure. I cannot slice my body away from all I am. My body tells my story in its scars. There are so many landmarks on the map of my skin, monuments to joy and sorrow, memories etched in flesh. My body has given me everything. She is not for me or you to cut apart. I am not a nice arse or great tits or the other ways men's words have carved me up in the streets. I am not unsightly hair or a potential bikini body who is failing to be perfect all the time. This is my body, all of it, every hairy, sweaty, soft, scarred inch. I will not carve my home into pieces or trim its lawns and bushes just so the neighbours don't complain. I will live here and be happy. Thank you. I've never done this before, reading poems in front of people, so thank you. Okay, I've got one more. Let me tell you the story of my body, because she is many things. Once she was the body of a girl who ran and jumped and skinned her knees. A youthful body, a useful body, a body which was not conscious of itself. But the ignorance of youth is brief, and soon when I was 9 or 10, my body wasn't just a running, jumping machine. I remember ballet class and other bodies more lithe than mine. I remember holidays with slender cousins and the shame of my own podgy, childish belly. Now my body, my happy little body, somehow knew she wasn't perfect. No one ever told me that, but somehow I knew. When puberty came with its hair and its smells and its blood, I already knew to feel a little shame at this body being less perfect by the day. I remember still the day when I was 13 on the bus to PE, reaching up for my bag and some popular girls making fun of the hair flourishing under my arms. I remember wearing shorts and boys laughing at the thick, dark forest of my legs. And I remember shaving in secret and knowing, just knowing, I had to do this to be pretty, to be happy. And then came hips and breasts and boys, and suddenly this body had a power that I didn't understand. Now I had to be sexy, because I knew what boys liked. I remember being 15 in the mini mission, eyes ringed black and fishnets ripped, dancing in our bras, not because we felt freedom or joy, but because it was sexy. Boys liked sexy. I remember being in love so many times and being in pain as many more. I remember the pure young agony of not being loved in return and knowing that it must be in part this body, this useless and imperfect body, which made me so alone. And I remember every scar I carved into its skin, the skin of my poor, lovely body, which worked so hard to keep me going, to knit my flesh together and make me whole again. I remember the first time I had sex, and being glad to get it out the way. I was 16 and so was he, two friends of friends at a party in an upstairs room with a chair against the door. There was no pain or shame, and I felt powerful. I have never once regretted that or any other one-night stand. I didn't then or now have sex for them, but for me. I faked an orgasm once, aged 16 still, with a different boy, and resolved to never do so again, because they didn't deserve to think they made me come. I learned, I'm still learning, that sex should be honest. My body, my wonderful body, deserves that respect. I didn't know when I was young all that my body could do. I didn't know the joy that she could feel. When I was 18, we discovered drum and bass. We discovered ecstasy and parties and dancing till dawn. And suddenly, what my body looked like didn't matter anymore. My body was sensation, she was pleasure, she was joy. I danced in my bra then, not to be sexy, but because I felt so free and only the music mattered. It was a time of rediscovering a body that could do and not just be looked upon. It made my body mine. When I was 23, after 10 years of shaving myself bare, I decided to grow out my hair. I wanted to see and know this part of me which I had always sheared away. And it became my new normal. Despite the people who stared, I kept the hair. I was with a man then who revelled in my body, the kind of man who'll bury his whole face in your cunt. And although it didn't last, he taught me, finally, that I was not disgusting. That my body and its scent and taste were beautiful, delicious. So I stand here now, aged 26, and my body is my own. Even if I'm alone, my body is my home. A body which I try to love for all that she can do, for everywhere she's taken me and everywhere we'll go. She is my only constant for all my life. Forever we will walk together and bring each other joy. Thank you. Thank you very much.